Hi there everyone and welcome to the Weather Centre. Before we take a look at your forecast for tomorrow, let's start off with a quick check of the satellite imagery. And much of the country was clear, although in the Lowveld and the adjacent escarpment was a fairly cloudy day with very little in the way of rain. And a couple of thundershowers developed during the second half of the afternoon over some areas in Limpopo, and some of those storms were strong enough to produce hail in the area. Let's take a look ahead to tomorrow, and it's going to be a foggy start to Friday for some areas over the eastern high ground. In the afternoon, it's going to be partly cloudy for most of the northern interior, while berg winds are going to be pushing temperatures up all across the southern parts, and we'll see some areas climbing to the high 30s and low 40s over the western and eastern Cape in the afternoon. Along with those very high temperatures and windy conditions, there is a high fire danger warning in place for some areas over the Cape provinces where runaway fires could develop during the afternoon hours. Here's your forecast for KZN. It's going to be a hot and dry day for the province. Both Ladysmith and Richards Bay get to a maximum temperature of 32 degrees. Extremely hot conditions will be developing for some parts of the Eastern Cape, in particular for the Karoo, Adelaide reaching a high of 40 degrees Celsius, and we also see temperatures climbing well above 30 degrees all along the coastline. For the Western Cape, it's going to be extremely hot into the Karoo regions, into the upper 30s, while along the coastline it is going to be warmer than it was today, but most places will remain below 30. As we head westwards, we see it's going to remain mild once again for the peninsula, Cape Town at 24, while inland it's going to be a very hot day, 34 degrees for Worcester. Hot and dry all across the northern Cape. Very windy weather developing for some areas in the south, while we will also have a bit of cloud popping up in the northern parts, including Portsmouthburg and Uppington. Very little cloud or rain for the Free State. A chilly morning for Bethlehem, dropping down to 9 degrees early in the day. And heading into the northwest, where it's going to be a warm to hot afternoon, and there could be a couple of very isolated thunder showers, mostly over the eastern parts once again. For Limpopo, a couple of thunderstorms through the central parts of the province, as well as over the western bushveld, and morning light rain or drizzle possible along the escarpments, including Thohoyandou and around Tzaneen. For Mpumalanga, on the other hand, most areas are going to be partly cloudy and dry, hot into the Lowveld, 33 degrees for Skukuza, while in the far western parts there could be extremely isolated thunder showers. And finally into Gauteng, partly cloudy and warm once again in the afternoon, and there could be a couple of thunder showers popping up, but most areas should remain dry for the day. Winds are going to be very gusty over the western parts on Friday afternoon, while in the northern interior very light winds expected, only averaging at about 5 kilometers per hour. Saturday brings some early morning light rain to Cape Town as a cold front moves through. That rain is going to spread along the coastline as the day goes on. A few thunder showers possible for some areas in the north. And on Sunday it remains fairly wet along the east coast as well as for Bombela, while things heat up for Cape Town, reaching a high of 30.